Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, the Shortwave, and welcome back to another You Learn Something Every Day. It's been quite some time since we've had one of these, but don't worry about it, you're gonna see a lot more of these in the near future. If you want any updates about my YouTube channel as a whole, maybe sort of like Cosmic Quest, maybe my Twitch channel, or just any animations or work that I'm doing right now, stick around to the end of the video and I'll be doing an update on that. But let's get to the meat of the episode. Or if you're vegetarian like I am, the protein main course, whatever vegetarians do. I'm vegetarian, I should know this. I don't want to say tofu because that's cliche and not all vegetarians eat tofu. Anyways, moving on, to the important stuff. So today on You Learn Something Every Day, we're talking about Ouija boards. Pointed the right way, everything's flipped on my screen, so it's hard to tell when I'm pointing the right way, but up there it says, and this new layout looks really awesome, and I'm pretty happy with it for now, until I get upset with it and fix everything. But moving on. We're talking about Ouija boards today, and I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce them. At least that's how I do it. Now, Ouija boards have sort of been repopularized recently. I believe there was a trailer or an actual movie that came out about a bunch of teenagers in this house and they make contact with a spirit through, it's very cliche, through the Ouija board.
This is where Debbie died.
I don't think this is a good idea.
As friends we've gathered, hearts are true. Spirits near, we call to you. If you can hear us, Debbie, I miss you.
And that sort of spurred the renewed interest in these, but I thought I'd give you some background on them and let you know how they actually work. Disclaimer, if you really strongly believe in paranormal activity, you probably shouldn't watch this video because you're gonna be disappointed, because I don't really believe in paranormal activity. So, not the movie. I know the movies exist, obviously. Paranormal Activity, that's a series. Moving that aside. First created in ancient China, and they're sort of this concept of what's called atomic writing. Automatic, sorry, not atomic. Automatic writing. Now, automatic writing is obviously just writing that happens in and of itself. And these were first created in 1100 AD in the Song Dynasty in China. As a use of contacting the dead, or like people who have passed away who are still dead. I don't know why I had to clarify that. But they were mainly used in sort of special rituals, but they were also established in this one sort of educational sort of, not necessarily college-y, but like learning area about spirituality in the Song Dynasty. But they were forbidden when the Qing Dynasty took over. Now, of course, this concept wasn't initially established like only in China. That's the farthest dating back reference we have to it. However, similar boards and the concept of automatic writing has been found in places like India, Rome, medieval Europe, Greece, loads of other places it developed at different times. But everyone sort of had this concept of automatic writing and these spirit boards as a way of contacting the dead. However, they only came to America in 1890 on May 28th, and they were established by a man named Elijah Bond. Sadly missed the bullet on both James Bond and Elijah Wood. Don't know how that happened, but he created, not necessarily created, but he yeah, actually he did. He fabricated this board that was referenced a lot of sort of demony, Satan-looking stuff, and also was, in a sense, also a reference to a lot of these ancient boards that had been found in China and of the like. So he used influence from both of those, and the most common thing among all these boards was this planchette, which is like a small triangular thing that I'm trying to figure out. It's sort of like a pointy thing, like, yeah, okay, it's like the shape of a hand, almost like that. And it has a little circle in it with a magnifying glass, and that's called a planchette. And that was, basically that's how you see the letters that the spirit that you make contact with is communicating to you on the board. So he patented this planchette and a board in 1890. The game itself was also sort of stolen a bit by one of his employees, William Fuld, which is just an awful name, we won't talk about that. And William sort of created the name Ouija, as his, that was like his keyword, like the big, like, sort of, marketing strategy thing. That was just the name. I don't know why that was so complicated. So that was the name that he came up with. And with the help of this man named Charles Kennard, he started creating these boards, using Elijah's design, and he tweaked it a bit. Now, he said the name Ouija came from, I believe, the ancient Egyptian word, for good luck. I don't know why, because it was for contacting the dead, but that's what he said. And later, when Charles Kennard took a bit more control over the creation, he restyled it so it was more phonetically like the combination of the German and French words for yes. Once again, still not making a lot of sense. Then again, it was marketed in America, not Germany, or France, so, I mean, there you go. Also, yes, I guess, maybe Spirit is contacting you, yay, whatever. So, that's sort of the basic history. After that, they took off. They were huge throughout the early 1900s and sort of faded out of popularity for a bit, but they were a board game and originally actually marketed with, like, a disclaimer, like, be careful, this is, like, a dangerous sort of thing. It's not a toy. This is how you contact the undead. And they still, some of them still are today, but they were very, very, cleverly created to sort of appear as if they were actually these real things, but actually they were marketed as board games. So moving on until the past year or so when the trailer came out for that new movie, which I should know the name of because I'm doing a podcast about it. When that movie came out, there was a lot of spurred interest and popularity into Ouija boards. It was sort of renewed, and this brings us to how they actually work. Now, Ouija boards, unfortunately, if you are a big believer in spiritual activity and all that stuff, they are not actually a way of contacting the dead. That is false. Too bad. Moving on. They actually work due to, what you might have guessed if you don't believe in that, which is unconscious muscle movement. Now, everyone says, though, that when they're using the board, they don't, like, they're not moving their fingers. Oh my god, someone else might be moving it, and these are all often, like, you use them in a group activity. You have, like, a seance, and you have, like, 4 or 5 people get together. They're all touching the planchette. So that already brings about, like, a lot of, it's like a way to confirm for people, because they're like, I'm not moving it myself, and everyone else says they're not moving it, so it must be a spirit. And the thing is, usually no one is actually intentionally moving the device themselves. It's unconscious muscle movement, and there is a term for this, coined by William Carpenter, which is called the ideometer effect. And the ideometer effect is, it's a word for this involuntary muscle movement that is used by quote-unquote mediums and dowsers to sort of influence people. It's the muscle movement, and basically what that is involuntary muscular movement that is created unconsciously, obviously, by, it's either through inner emotions or influence from other people around you, observations, or the actions of others. So how this could be explained is if you are, like, in a room with a lot of other people, and you're trying to contact someone's dead grandmother, well, you already know her name, say her name is, like, Jen or something, then everyone in the room knows her name is Jen, so people are going to be influenced by that already to maybe start moving the planchette towards the J, the E, and the N. And then when people begin to ask questions like that, there's this sense for sort of completion, and no one wants to see that their poor old grandmother passed away and is now upset in the spirit world. So a lot of things like, are you able to pass on and stuff, will be answered with how the people in the room feel like they should be answered. So that influences what actually the outcome of the spirit ward is, and what the answers you get are. But at the same time, no one actually feels like they're moving the planchette themselves. So yeah, that's why if you get a bunch of non-believers around a board like that, it's probably not gonna end up moving as much as you would if someone really wants to actually contact a spirit themselves. And that's the same concept, and I know I'm going on a bit of a tangent here, that's the same concept behind hypnotism, where it doesn't actually work on everyone, and it's not necessarily a real thing, but it's a concept of someone being really willing to have something happen to them that causes that thing to happen. So it's sort of like self-fulfilling prophecy in a sense that you want to contact your dead grandmother, so through yourself you sort of don't actually contact her, but give yourself the opinion that you do. And I'm sorry I keep talking about dead grandmothers. I'm done with that. Anyways, that's our episode for today. Thanks so much for dropping by and watching this episode on Ouija boards. I really hope that you learned about them, because I think that's something you gotta know, and you take everything with a grain of salt. You don't have to trust me 100% if you really want to believe in them. You can believe in them, I might not be right, and at the same time, all those spirit people out there, all the people, mediums and like paranormal stuff, you can't take that wholeheartedly. So, just learning about both sides of the situation is a good thing to do. Anyways, thanks so much for dropping by, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of You Learn Something Every Day, or whatever it may be. Thanks so much for dropping by. Bye!